All right, everyone, take your seats so we can get started, please. Just Mr. Ferguson. Right. We've got pretty much got a full house. Yeah. All right. Call this our work session to order. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Looks like we got almost a full house. Well, we do have a full house. I guess we do have everyone here. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. Go over our agenda for Monday night. Mr. Davis, have you down for the invocation and pledge by Ms. Jones. We'll do the roll call electronic at the proper time. Ask for approval of the minutes. We may have some last minute things right now. We don't know of anything other than one budget amendment that was added the last hour, and we'll get into that when we get into budget amendments. Announcements at the back of your packet. You see a flyer, VIP night. This is for the county commissioners. The hour prior to our meeting on April 25th, actually starts at 5 o'clock if you want to go that early. And this is an exhibit of Camp Forest that's going to be up, and we're going to be showing that. What?
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I never got an agenda. Do you have any? We got them. Okay.
Do you really want one? I bet we can find you one. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Anyone else need one? Okay. All right. Sorry. Should have asked that. Okay. This VIP night, this Camp Forest exhibit is going to be up at the county archives. They've extended this special invitation to the commissioners to come by prior to our meeting to look at this. It's in conjunction with the Smith County Historical Society and our local historical society as well. I think it'd be interesting. Not going to take you very long to take a look at it, but certainly try to avail yourself of that if you have time to. And that'll be Monday night, starting at 5. Starting at 5. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, in the county archive building, right behind the administration building. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make that announcement. Let's see. That's all I have in the way of announcements, I think. Amendments to the agenda. If we have anything crop up, we will let you know about it as soon as we know. Citizens response, of course, let people sign in if they want to speak to an issue that's on our agenda. This is the quarterly report. It's time for Dr. Satterfield's quarterly report. So we do have that on here. And of course, the mayor's report. Mayor, do you want to go over anything tonight?
Really, the only thing I have is try to get some feedback from the commission tonight. TDOT will be opening up their multimodal grant again. We didn't get it last year. This was the project going from right where the train depot is up to the intersection where Hartsville, the Mexican grilled cheese and First National Bank are. Do we want to apply for that agreement? Do we want to submit that project again? What affected our scoring last time is they said they'd like to have more public hearings and that we did not have a complete streets ordinance. In talking with our RPO director, there are really no rural areas that have these complete streets ordinances. That's where you say you're going to set aside bike lanes and all these kind of things that you normally see in more urban areas. So again, I just want feedback that we want to apply for that project again, or do you want to look at something different?
Mr. Harsh,
I would hope that we'd apply for it again.
I think if it was worthy last time, it would be worthy again. Mr. Clarity?
Wasn't that $1 million match? Wanted $1 million and then we had to go 50 match on it?
I don't think we ever had a number for that. It was just an application phase.
We had a number one time.
If there was a number on it, I don't remember what that was right now. I just remember we applied for it. I'll go back and look through my documentation, see if I can find something, but I don't know that we got that far into it.
I was thinking it was $1 million and we had to match 50-50 on it.
No,
I
I
don't
believe,
remember.
I'll go back and look at it, because if I tell you right now off the top of my head, I won't be right. So I'll have to go back and look at it and have it for you Monday night.
Even if this is just to make application for it, even if we're awarded it, we don't have to accept it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, even if you get it, if you turn around and say, well, we changed our mind, then you can get out you can pretty much get out all the way up till you sign the grant grant contract.
Anyone has any strong feelings about it or questions about it, get with the mayor and try to get some information to answer your questions. Go into committee report. Is that all you had, Mayor? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. That's on. Other things I have is just going to be updates. RPO director asked me if I could get some direction on that, so I told him I'd ask the commission.
Thank you, sir. Committee reports, steering committee met April 5th. Budget and finance met tonight. Veteran Service meets the 21st. I don't know of any other committees this month. Purchasing oversight, that's correct. Purchasing oversight met tonight.
What about prisons on the 28th?
I didn't think that was this month, was it?
No, it's after the commission meeting, so it wouldn't be.
Okay. Well, the commission meeting is the 25th, so it'd be the 28th. So it'd be after the commission meeting. Yeah, it's on the 28th. Yes, but that's after yes, that's after the meeting. Yes. Anything else, Mr. Gully?
Did Parks and Rec meet after the last, where we at, April, right? So we met in March after the meeting, correct? My bad, days got together there.
No, I'd rather be sure than to overlook something. That's why we do this, is make sure we have everything lined up for Monday night. Mr. Ford?
You might also announce that the prison and oversight or prison relations will be on the 28th.
Yes. Thank you. Go into our active business appointments. Got several there. Go over Animal Shelter Board. I believe these are all reappointments. Is that correct, Mayor? On
Yes,
the
sir.
Animal Shelter Board?
Yes, sir. All reappointments.
Okay, Debbie Jenkins, Jenny Gregory, Linda Sue Johnson, Mark Presley, and Teresa Turner. These are reappointments for a 2-year term. Any questions on those? We're going to have a vacancy on the Industrial Development Board. The Pilot Approval Committee by position is the mayor, the IDB chairman. The third member of that committee is to be a non-elected person or a citizen at large, as discussed. It's up to the chairman of the commission to make a nomination and for y'all to either go with that person or send me back to the drawing board. Looked at a lot of people, talked to a lot of people. My recommendation, my nomination is going to be Mr. Robert Thurman. The reason being, and I'll be glad to explain that, I know there's been some concern that he's coming off of the IBDB to do this, and that is true, but that is not the reason he was selected. He was selected in my mind because he is a citizen of our community that is without reproach. I don't think there's anyone in here that could say a bad word against him. Certainly I can't. His background as a county commissioner for many years, his background on the IDB board, and his background in banking in our community. I could not think of anyone that would be more qualified to be in this position to make these decisions. Ultimately, any decision that they come up with has to be also ratified, I guess you'd say, by Budget and Finance Committee. So they do not have the final word on it, but they are the face of it and make a lot of decisions about it. Certainly, if y'all have someone, I ask if you had someone that you wanted me to consider, please reach out to me and let me know. I had several names on a list, and some of them indicated they did not want to do it. And I was actually pleased and surprised that Mr. Thurman said that he would do it. He did have some concerns about coming off of the IDB and that might be an issue, but felt like it didn't necessarily exclude him from doing it. I did consult with the IDB chairman and the mayor about my thoughts on this and proposed selection, as well as many of you. And probably didn't get to talk to everybody, but that's why we're talking about it tonight. So I hope I explained that well as to why he was my choice. And if you feel inclined to I guess you'd say, ratify him in that position. And if not, we will go back and look for someone else. Any questions on that? Ms. Russell?
Hey, will they be working kind of sort of alongside the planning committee?
Pardon me?
Will they be kind of working alongside the planning committee? Or
Not
when
really.
things want to come into business here?
No.
I guess I need a little bit explained what the pilot.
Well,
is.
what they're doing is the pilot program is payment in lieu of taxes. What we approved last month, so if you have an industry wanting to come to town, you would, depending on how many jobs, what the investment is, we would defer their taxes for a period of time or a portion of them. And this group would, I guess you'd say, be the front person to work with them. We have pre-approved a framework for them to operate under, but they would be making the decisions on what and how much to offer them with the approval of the Budget and Finance Committee. That's what was adopted. And we put in there that we did not, the only people that were excluded in that third position were elected positions. You can't serve on it. I can't serve on it. The sheriff can't serve on it. It has to be someone that's not in an elected position. But that was the only restrictions we put on that third person. In the original documents, it had the mayor making this appointment, and I insisted that the commission have a voice in it, and everyone agreed to change it to the commission making that appointment, chairman making the nomination and the commission making the appointment. So that's what we approved in the final draft. That answer your question?
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you mentioned other taxes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on this? Okay. Of course, if we do appoint Mr. Thurman to the pilot approval committee, he would need to resign from the Industrial Development Board. That position on the IDB has been filled 2 people from each bank. Mr. Thurman is the representative now from First National Bank. So we asked First National Bank who they would like to have serving on that committee in his stead, and Tracy Belcher is who they have recommended, and it will be up to us to appoint them. But that's the why there. Those 2 positions are filled by a bank representative. Seth Thurman, it fills the IDB board slot from Wilson Bank and Trust. At one time, when we had 3 banks here, we had 3 people on there, but right now it's just those 2. Okay. All right. Any questions on appointments? If not, we'll move on. Next, we'll move into resolutions. Resolution 2022-10-754. This is a senior center vehicle management policy. One of the grants for them to get dictates that they have to have this vehicle maintenance plan in place. Is that correct, Amy? Okay. Any questions on this one? Okay. Next is resolution 2022-11-755. This is a resolution to add some private drives to the official road name list. None of these at this point in time will be county maintained roads. Some of them at some point in the future, if they're constructed to county road specifications and are approved by the road superintendent and the road commission, they may be added as a maintained road. Currently, they're not. The first one is Clark Lane. This is north side of McMurray Boulevard. This is just this side of the pregnancy center. They're at corner Melrose Drive. They plan to put 3 townhouse type apartments right there. They will not be facing the highway. They will be facing this private drive. So to give them unique addresses, we needed to address them off of that name. So that's the name that the 911 board presented to us, was Clark Lane. There'll be 3, there'll only be 3 addresses on there. Rolling Meadows Avenue is the development down on Highway 22, this side of Blankenship. They're calling that Rolling Meadows. So the entrance road will be Rolling Meadows Avenue. It will tee into a road across the back to be named Scenic Lane. And then there's a little cul-de-sac on the west side of it, and that will be named Sunset Court. That's the three names. We've had questions as why Rolling Meadows Avenue and not Lane. It is in Urban Services District. All the streets in Urban Services or the old city limits, if they run north to south, are an avenue. So that's why it has the suffix of avenue for anyone that needs that information. The last one is renaming of James Mcclanahan Lane to Finley Lane. It has changed ownership of the property. They're going to be developing the property, putting a lot of houses in there. We have a Mcclanahan Lane, and it's always been a bit confusing with deliveries and things of that nature between Mcclanahan and James Mcclanahan. So the property owners are requesting that we change the name of James Mcclanahan. There's only 1 house on it currently, but there will be more houses on it later. Finley is the name of the creek or the branch right there beside it. That's Finley Branch. So that's where the Finley name came from. These have all been approved by the 911 board and sent forward to us for our considerations. Any questions on any of those? Okay. You've got maps there that show them. If you have questions, get with Sam or myself, and we'll be glad to help you with that. Moving into ordinances. Let's see, I believe that was all resolutions. Ordinances, first reading on ordinance 237-2022-07. This is a rezoning request from A1 to R1 located on Highway 25 and Old Highway 25. Where the two come together, there's a thin strip of land in between there. It's currently zoned agriculture. They want to rezone it to R1. They think they can possibly get 2 home sites in that strip. And there again, the limiting thing will be the septic approval if they can find suitable septic fields. They believe they can for 2 is what they're think will happen with that. There is other R1 immediately adjoining it, those lots down through the rest of the center down through there. A lot of them are R1. Any questions? It's not too far from Badgett Lane. It's, you know, it's a residential area. Yes, sir, Mr. Ford.
Are we gonna know by next week whether or not that's been approved for the septic system?
I don't think so. I mean, typically you get the zoning in place before you pursue doing anything else. Ms. Baker, did you want to make a comment?
That question was asked at the planning meeting and about the soil test, if it had come back yet. And he indicated that maybe 2 it would perk for 2 houses. So, but it wasn't back yet. That was just his thought.
It is, if it won't work, it won't do.
Right. I know I'd looked at this one time in times past, the irregular shape and the narrowness of it. If you look at each end, you're only looking at a certain amount in the center. Probably the very most that you could meet the setback zone would be 3. And so I think you'll do good to get 1. I mean, I know that it's been looked at before and didn't think it would be able to do anything with it, but that's where it's at. Any other questions on it? Good question. Okay. Next one is a zoning. This one's 236/2022-06. This is an ordinance to move some property from A1 to R1. This is out on Templo Road, tract containing about 57 acres. Has quite a bit of road frontage to it, and that's why they're wanting to develop it for residential lots. There again, probably the biggest limiting factor on how many they put in there will be their septic. What they'll be able to get suitable sites for. This is our second reading. We passed it on first reading. We'll have public hearing and second reading on this one. Any questions on that one? Okay. Moving into budget amendments. The ones in the 101 fund, they're money in, money out. We can take them all together if you want to, or we'll pull them individually if somebody requests that Monday night. 2022-101-36. This is an insurance recovery for some damage to the sheriff's department cars where insurance paid for the repairs, bringing the money in, put it in the right category. 2022-101-37 is workhouse recycling, where they pick up the aluminum cans and things and they sell them. Yes, sir.
Same corrections for the credit amount.
Yes. Yeah, I'll mention that. I was going to mention that. It was, they've received $1,012. I want to put that into the proper categories where they would like to spend that money. There was a clerical in the addition. We're on workhouse vehicle repairs. It says 800. It should be 600. And that will bring your total to $1,012, which equals the amount of money that's coming in. So if you'd make that change on budget amendment 101-37 from 800 to 600, and that will bring the total to 1,012. And appreciate Mr. Buckmaster pointing that out to us. I'd overlooked it. Okay, any questions on that one? Next one is BA 101-38G. This is an election grant, $25,000 coming in from the state for elections. They're again bringing the money in. and putting it to contracted services on the election and $5,000 on equipment. This was for security assistance during the election, is what this was for. Kind of a last minute appropriation through the legislature. Any questions on that one? Okay, that's all in the 101. Next is our BA 13102 state aid. This is where we're getting money from the state into the highway department to retrace, repaint some pavement markings. They've given us $32,000 and we're going to spend it on repavement markings. So it's money in, money out. And then we're going to have another one that was approved by Budget and Finance. It will be a budget amendment for additional EMS personnel that was not included in the EMS raise, the clerical personnel and such. We'll have that one ready for the full body. It was approved by Budget and Finance. $2,085. Does that sound right? Okay. Okay. So we'll have that one ready for you to add as well. American Rescue Plan Fund spending approval. The state, the grant that we had applied for, been awarded, the state knows that the cost of a lot of the materials have gone up. So they're increasing the eligible amount for that grant. It is a matching grant. So they are going to give us $25,000. It was a 50-50 grant. So this would be us matching that. So we're going to spend 25 to get 25. So it's a net zero effect. Okay. And that comes out of the American Rescue Plan funds approvals. Notaries, we should have some notaries for you. Usually do. We don't get those until next Monday night. Any other business, commissioners? Anything I overlooked? Amy, did I overlook anything? Mayor, did I overlook anything? Yes, sir.
I don't have any more business. I just want to answer Commissioner Clarity's question about the multimodal access grant. Looking at last year's grant manual, it is a 95-5 match. So the county would have to meet 5% of the project cost up to a maximum of $950,000.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that clarification. Public comment. Anyone here in the public like to make any comments? Now's your time. Okay, seeing none. Mr. Walsh?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Whoop. Aye. Mr. Taylor got a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye, aye, aye.